I have some theories as to why liberal writers aren't any good anymore. And I've talked about them, I think, in some other videos or maybe on some streams. But basically, a lot of these people, they go through college, whether it's to be a writer or whatever. Specifically, if they do go to be a writer, a lot of time is spent on DEI communist crap, right? It's like really heavily focused on looking at old existing media through the lens of race, class, gender. If they're looking at new stuff, they're usually looking at, authors that are immigrants or women or minorities, which is fine, but with a specific theme that all of these people are pretty disgruntled with America. While they all may look different, it's basically the same message. It's more important what the author is saying about America, what they're saying about society, and it's kind of treated as like the gospel truth, like these people are infallible. That stuff's more important than the actual art, than the craft being used. So they get really, really focused on all of this representation nonsense. So that's basically what they learn about writing. That's their craft of writing, is all this DEI, representation, ESG, whatever you want to say, intersectionality, critical lenses of race, class, gender. That's their craft. That's what they know. They don't necessarily know how to write a good story because they're not reading good stories. They're reading stories that are grievance porn, basically. So why do I say all this? Well, instead of just riding off into the sunset and taking their L and disappearing into obscurity, into the abyss of failure, the writers of Dragon Age Veilguard have decided to drag the corpse of their failed product back out into the limelight. Apparently, this Jason Schreier guy is kind of a shill for the Dragon Age. He's, he likes all the representation, all the check boxes, and I guess that he kind of was tooting their horn about Dragon Age's success before, I guess, all the numbers were in. So he basically had to kind of backtrack and then come out with an article stating, well, what went wrong with Dragon Age, without actually hitting any of the points that were actually wrong with it. So he did take it pretty easy, even though he was giving like a critique or a constructive criticism, whatever. He took it pretty easy on them, but he did make a comment about the writing that says, why was the writing so tonally inconsistent? Why did it feel so shallow? Why were there so few choices? Anyway, I guess one of the writers for Dragon Age Veilguard retweeted, said, reposting without comment, except I refute that we made a bad or compromised game. That's like saying I refute that the world is round. You're in the same camp as flat earthers on that. It is objectively bad. We made the best version of what we released, warts and all. No. Maybe the best version of what you could make, but you did not make the best version. I'm damn proud of it and the team. We couldn't have made a better Dragon Age, only a different one. There's a lot to unpack there, I guess. We couldn't have made a better Dragon Age. Okay, so this is I hate this concept that just because you're trying your best means that that's good enough. In a competitive marketplace, it's not. If you are not the right person for that position, it's not good enough. If you put a janitor at Intel into a position for a computer software engineer and he's trying his best, I gotta tell you, not gonna be good enough. So if you put in these people in there that don't really know how to write, but by golly, do they sure know a lot about the message and social engineering, you're not gonna get a high quality product in terms of the writing, right? It reminds me when COVID was happening, I live in Oregon, so at the time I was at a park and someone had written on the sidewalk during the lockdowns at a park where the basketball hoops were taken off the backboards so people couldn't play basketball to protect us from COVID. Anyway, someone wrote on the sidewalk in chalk that Kate Brown is doing the best she can. Not good enough. She should have been fired. Someone who could handle a situation without destroying people's lives and just trying to mitigate risk without overreaching and overstepping. That would have been someone better in that position. But instead, we got a politician that doesn't know how to be an effective leader. But because they're doing their best, we just have to take it with a grain. Right? So if you are not the best person for the position, it's going to produce a subpar product. So when he says it's the best version, it's not the best version. It's the best version maybe they could have made. Maybe they couldn't have made a different game. Maybe they couldn't have made a better game, but somebody else could have. Obviously, the old guard at BioWare, they made better games, better Dragon Age games. And then he said he's damn proud. Like, what is there to be damn proud of, my guy? Like, what? Like everything about your game was a colossal failure. A game that took 10 years to come out. You're super proud of it, and after 10 years, it flopped on its face to the point where they basically couldn't even give it away on the marketplace, like for the free monthly game. Nobody wanted it. It's that bad. What are you proud of? Like, I'm so sick of people being proud of failure. Like, sure, be proud of your failures if it leads you to be better and to learn from your failures and grow. But just being proud of your failure and then continuing to do the things that make you fail is nothing to be proud of. You should be ashamed of yourself as a grown man. I love that he says reposting without a comment and then puts a pretty generously sized comment in his post. So like, what was the purpose of that first part? And Brian Audette here, just going to show what a great writer he is, starts off his post by saying reposting without a comment except huge comment. Like, dude, you said you weren't going to comment, and then you commented. No wonder the Dragon Age Veilguard was such a mess. Anyway, yeah, I think that's kind of the issue, right? Is one, these people never learn how to write, at least not effectively. Two, when they receive criticism and they fail, they don't learn from it. They just double down and express how proud they are of their failure instead of being like, okay, that didn't work. What are we doing wrong? At least if you're trying to be in a marketplace where you're trying to compete and earn money from consumers, you need to adapt. If you're just an artist and you're just like, oh, this is the art that I want, take it or leave it, great. But like, if you're in an actual marketplace trying to compete for market share and gain customers, you can't have that hoity-toity fart sniffing attitude. You can't be like, that's Neil Druckmann's issue, and it's, I mean, it might ruin Naughty Dog. We'll see how it goes. I don't know. But yeah, like, you can't just suck and then keep sucking and then be proud of your sucking. That's not a good way to go. So BioWare either needs to fire these people or crack down and put them through some serious training and get a supervisor or somebody in there that knows how to put out a solid plot with great characters, cool lore. If they can't do that, if they're not going to learn from their mistakes, they're going to keep repeating them to the point where they might just run the whole company into the ground. We'll see. I mean, I don't know the ins and outs of how the ESG investment money works. I know USAID got cut from a lot of these companies, which is absolutely crazy that they were receiving tax dollars to push their messaging. But these are the times we live in. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. But if they're not going to take criticism seriously, if they're just going to lash out at everyone criticizing them, they're not going to grow. They're not going to get better. And our games and our stories are going to suffer for it. But that's all I got for the video. Thank you guys for watching. Please remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Turn on notifications, and I'll see you guys next time.